All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday, guys. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Let's go, man. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. I managed to get the mic up, Bruno. So should be all good. Should be all good. Hopefully it's all good. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Ready for another great week in the markets. Gold is already on an absolutely crazy push this morning, guys. Gold in Asia has had all the fun, unfortunately. Last week on... let me just turn the light down a little bit here. Last week on gold, we were calling gold buys to come up into that 4,050 level and then back up into 4,100. And yeah, unfortunately, you've just opened here in Asia and just filled the whole entire, almost 1,000 tick range, which is insane. From the lows down here all the way up into the highs, gold's up 852 ticks, which is the reason I'm on a combine here right now. Because if I try and trade after an 850 plus tick move, then yeah, I'll be borderline FOMOing into a huge trade, which I absolutely don't want to do here on my combine. So yeah, that's the reason I'm on a combine here. Great move on gold though. For you guys who are trading Asia, great move. This is unfortunately the move that we wanted all of last week. You guys know that we've had these liquidity levels for quite some time. Big trend line coming down. What did we say on Friday? We said most people trying to short here, risking up the high. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to buy up into that level, which I tried to do a few times last week, but unfortunately it just didn't really get the momentum. But today here in Asia, you have opened and had the crazy rip. So if you guys did get it, you guys who trade Asia, well done. It was a fantastic trade. Beautiful trade. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome back, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Been trading the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So good to be back on with you guys. Before we do anything, guys, let's have a look at the news for the week. See what we have coming up this week. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So, there is nothing on the calendar today. Is there a US bank holiday tomorrow? Oh, you have a Veterans Day tomorrow on Tuesday. So, US bank holidays will be closed in observance of Veterans Day. Most brokers remain open. Stock market and banks have slightly different schedules. Will we be on We'll be on tomorrow. Let's have a look. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, we'll be on tomorrow as well. But it's a US bank holiday tomorrow. Nothing on Wednesday. Thursday, we do have CPI, but again, it says tentative here. So may have CPI on Thursday, and on Friday we have core retail sales and PPI as well. Again, both say tentative, so we will see. Back in Spain, yes, back in Spain, back in Barcelona, back at a new setup here. You guys can see new background here. Back in nice sunny Spain. Still kind of warm Spain as well. We had a 24-hour boat ride over the weekend, all the way from Italy to Spain on Friday night. Left Italy at 11 o'clock Friday night. Didn't get to Spain until 10 o'clock Saturday night. So we had a whole 24 hours on a boat, which was, I don't want to say it wasn't fun, but it wasn't the most productive way to spend your day. So yeah, we'll have a look at all markets this morning, guys. We'll have a look at gold. We'll break down NQ. Unfortunately, guys, you have to be real. You're gonna get a trade here on gold after you've had this move up. Unfortunately, not. There's gonna be no trades on gold for me, unfortunately, today, guys. That doesn't mean we can't look at other markets and still break down where is next from here and what happens from here. But if you guys haven't got this move up because maybe you just don't trade Asia or you're unable to trade Asia, well, same as me. Asia's during my night, and I'm certainly not going to stay up to try and trade Asia. So with this big of a move, you have to accept that, what does gold do after you have that big of a move? You will start to create some pretty aggressive ranges and some very, very choppy higher time frame price action, which means the lower time frame will be even choppier. So yeah, after this big of a move here on gold, you kind of have to let the markets find their feet, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, if you got it, it was a great, great, great push. But if you didn't get it, like me, because you don't trade Asia, then you have to accept it and wait. It's not going to be the only time the market's going to have this big of a move when you don't get on. So what you do with that information is very important. So for me, this big of a move, look at different markets. London Open is at 8 o'clock London time. It's currently 7:40 London time. We're back on fast markets this week as well, guys. We're back on well, it's supposed to be Tuesday, but it's a bank holiday, so we'll see. I'm not too sure. I believe we're still going on. NQ's already had a pretty big run here as well. NQ's had a great run. He had a huge sell-off on Friday, got bought right back up. You've gapped open in Asia and had this nice squeeze. So, your NQ's back at a potential pullback level. 25,500 is a big resistance level. We held it as support for quite some time last week. We had that huge sell-off and smashed through it, and now we kind of come all the way back for that retest. How was that daily close on Friday? Yeah, look at that daily morning star play. So you came down and wicked the lows on Friday, wicking all the way back above, and then having a nice buy here. So, I mean, intraday looks like NQ wants to have a bit of a pullback, but then the higher time frame to me, this is a huge liquidity grab. Look at this. This is a great liquidity grab here in NQ. Came down, tagged these lows perfectly on Friday. So anyone who would have been buying maybe a longer time frame position, probably in something like that on NQ, buying off this support, risking off that low, what does price do? Comes down, tags lows, breaks all the way back above. So for me, from down here, NQ is still overall very, very bullish. And to be honest, looking at this move down here in NQ, it looks like, again, what looks like and what's going to happen, two different things, but it looks like you want to come and retrace some of this move and see an overall bigger squeeze higher. So I do believe we could see NQ back at 25,750s. Now, with that being said, could we do it from here? I mean, of course we could, but from a logical thinking perspective, if we were going to see NQ fill this big range here, I would say you'd probably get a little bit of a pullback, maybe tag some 4-hour lows before potentially going higher. So is there a possibility to intraday short it before going higher? Maybe. Let's have a look. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So yeah, there could be a possibility to trade NQ for a bit of a pullback. But remember, you are trading against this huge breakback higher on Friday, which is the only concern. How do you stay there because of Brexit? Just a visa. You get a digital nomad visa. It's pretty easy to get into Europe even after Brexit. If you work remotely, it's pretty easy to get into the majority of countries, to be honest, in Europe. It's not as easy as it was. Not as easy as it was beforehand, unfortunately. We had it very, very easy before. Brexit really did screw up a lot of things for us, but it's surprisingly pretty easy. Work online, prove some income, and get a visa. It can last up to like 5 years. But for loads of different countries in Europe, it's pretty easy to get digital nomad visas. Good morning, Aaron. Would you be able to go over my trade in Asia? Yeah, I can try and have a look. For sure. So Europe won't trade gold. What about the US traders later? Yeah, definitely. We can have a look at see what we got on. See what we got on gold for the rest of the day. Absolutely. Where are we? Let's just finish breaking down NQ here. NQ definitely looks like the more interesting of the two, but that is only because gold has had such a big move. So, you know, do you want to start trading NQ just because gold's had a big move? You didn't get it? Well, not really, unless you trade it anyway. So that's the reason I want the combine here, because I don't trade it on my funded accounts, but you know, if I get a great setup, then possible. So you can see you had this pretty decent breakout, even in slow markets here in Asia. You've had this great move up here. I don't know why it's called slow markets. It's the markets are moving absolutely incredibly in Asia. Asia and Dakota slow markets is absolutely having all of the fun. So with NQ being this high, yeah, I would like to see a pullback before going higher. So could you potentially sell NQ before you go long? I mean, maybe, but look at the range right now. Is there any reason to want to sell it just yet? Not really. So I'd have to see a little bit of a breakout in NQ here before I would even consider selling it. You know, you're in a pretty tough range here. You know, here's your... Where's that? Let's just do this with the levels. Here's your support on NQ. Here's your resistance. So if you break below, cool, there's potential to short NQ. If you break above, could you continue buying? Maybe. Personally, I wouldn't, because you've already had this great push. I feel like a pullback and a bit of a liquidity grab could come at any point. Yeah, that's the thing. If you short NQ, yeah, you just have to cut it early because, you know, looking at Friday's candle, it looks like a pretty perfect buy opportunity. It's a pretty perfect long. You came down, grabbed the lows, held the previous low. That was a great buy. Very, very late in the day to trade NQ, but it looks like NQ gets bought up quite a lot at the end of the day. So that was a great buy up. So we look at that and go, cool, that was a great buy. So does it make too much sense for us to look at this and go, well, I didn't get this buy, so I want to look for shorts? Not really. Same as gold right now. I think a lot of people will be trying to short gold and just getting squeezed out and squeezed out and squeezed out. Gold is not the markets to fight. If gold's going up, gold's going up. If gold's going down, gold's going down. Gold is not the market to try and fight and try and call reversals and also put your ego into markets, because Goldie will just squeeze you out all day long. It'll squeeze you out, and then, you know, it will finally have the pullback. But if you actually just wait for a higher time frame candle to close, confirming some sort of pullback, you'll have a way easier trade. But in terms of like this whole move up here on gold, it makes sense, you know, from a technical perspective. This is what we were literally talking about all of last week. We had liquidity levels here, and then we also had liquidity levels here as well. You printed this perfect double top on Friday. I didn't trade Friday because I was traveling, and then today, boom, great move. Great move. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, man. Good morning. Would you say when gold is in a consolidating phase like this, the breakout more often happens not on the third but fourth touch of a trend line? I don't really look. I've never really looked at that. I don't really. If you're consolidating, I don't look at trend lines. Consolidation means you're probably just in like a big range, so I'd probably just look at just support and resistance. I don't really look at consolidation in, you know, in terms of like this, like if I was to look at this as a range, because right now we're not consolidating. Gold's trending beautifully. If you were looking at a time frame to think we're consolidating, it could be, yeah, I guess you could see maybe this. Could you draw a trend line here? Yeah, you probably could, but I'd probably just look at it just like this, to be honest. A little bit of a range. You could not say you can't draw trend lines, but I personally wouldn't be drawing trend lines here, because it's not a trend line that I'd be like trading into. I like the much higher time frame one from last week. But if it's something you've noticed, then again, fantastic. As an Australian, can you get? I have no idea, man. I'm not Australian. I wouldn't know. I don't know every every country's situation, but I assume it'd be pretty similar. As long as you can prove you work online and you meet certain requirements, yeah, I'm sure countries would probably have the same rules as Australia as it would be for someone coming from the UK. I don't think it'd be any different. But definitely I would just have a quick Google search and find some firms that would let you do it and look into it. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. As long as you can prove remotely, you can find companies that pretty much do the whole entire process for you. It's much easier to move to Europe than you might think. And the nomad visa for Spain can last up to 5 years. Not that I'll stay here for 5 years, but for you guys who might want to, it's pretty cool that you can stay for 5 years, and then you can down the line apply for residency as well if you really want to. So Goldie on the push here, guys. NQ, like I say, I do like a pullback on NQ. Does that mean I will sell NQ? Probably not, unless it shows me something very good to want to fight this move up here. Same as gold, guys. If we are going to see more gold moves for the day, like we've been calling for last week, I like gold to come back up into 4100, back up into 4150. However, if we look at this on gold, does it make any sense for us to buy this high? Unfortunately not. And I think we all can kind of agree on that. The only people who can't agree on that is maybe because they're a little bit too emotional and can't really see the markets from that clear perspective. But anytime you see, almost 1,000 tick move up here on gold, you have to accept that it's going to range. It's not just gonna keep ripping, or all of a sudden it's going to rip up, all of a sudden it's going to rip down. It's likely going to create a range, and if you can't accept that, you try and jump in a trade, you could easily get stuck in gold where it just goes sideways for 2, 3, 4 hours, and you get very mentally drained. So rather than mentally draining yourself, trying to fight the markets after you've already pushed, 800, 900 plus ticks, the most logical and smart thing to do is stay patient and wait. And you'll thank yourself for staying patient, and you'll thank yourself for waiting. Because, like I always say to you guys, that good trade's always right around the corner. Always right around the corner. But you guys who trade Asia, you guys who have had all the fun. Words of wisdom. Yeah, absolutely, man. Just show tax docs and bank statements and they'll be like, sure, come over. Not quite. What made you think that? It's not quite that easy. Depends on where you're going. I mean, some countries in Europe, yeah, you can pretty much just show savings that you can get in for a year. I think it's Croatia. You can pretty much just show savings in your bank account and you can get a visa for a year. Yeah, you can apply for residency down the line in Spain. Yep, absolutely, man. You can, yep. There's a few agencies that can help you do it. Yeah, you have to live here for like 5+ years and then you can, yeah. But yeah, for Spain, it's not as easy as just, here's a bank statement, and they say, sure, come over. It's much longer process for Spain than that. You have to go get fingerprints done in Australia. You got to get government forms done. You have to get written contracts from employers to show that you are allowed to work overseas. There's a lot that goes into the Spain one. There is much easier ones out there where, yeah, some countries in Europe, only a handful, you can literally go in with like, savings, and you can get a year-long visa. But Spain, yeah, Spain is a pretty long process, but it's not that hard, to be honest. You find an agency, they kind of help you do most of it. We've got London open in about 7 minutes here, guys. In about 7 minutes. I believe Portugal's a pretty easy place to get a visa for as well. Let's have a look, you guys. Let's have a look at some other markets here, guys. We've got gold, obviously, out of action for the next 2, 3, 4+ hours. NQ could shape up, but let's have a look at some other markets here, guys. Some markets that might move here in the European session. Let's have a look at the euro. You guys like to look at the euro. Wow, look at that euro. Create a very nice double bottom here. big reaction off them lows as well. Euro backed out at major weekly support. Huge level. Look at this on the euro. Massive level. So the euro could see a little bit of a pullback, but I don't think it'll be that big of a pullback unless anything fundamentally changes. You could come up and maybe tag last week's high. Let's have a look here. Where's Friday's high? Could be a potential buy target on the euro. You had a pretty decent morning star play here. Look at this, nice morning star play here. On Thursday, look at this. Wednesday came down, grabbed the lows, held support. Thursday you had that nice push. Friday continued higher. So you'd be looking for the euro to come squeeze back higher. Longs back up into this 16250 level. Look pretty nice here. 16250. Let's make this 50%. Come visit Malta one day. Yeah, definitely, man. I'd love to. I've never been, but I would. I've heard a few people, but that would definitely be cool to visit. Absolutely. So yeah, you could see euro longs into Friday's high. You kind of had this 4-hour tag and lows holding support. Hourly potential fake out coming in here in 4 minutes. London Open. So if you pull back here quickly at the London Open, you could see some nice longs on the euro if you guys do trade the euro. Looks nice in NQ and gold, that's for sure. Let me have a quick look at NQ again. NQ could still break higher. What's copper been up to? I used to like looking at copper. I haven't looked at copper properly in a while. Let's see. Copper has been a very tough market to trade. In Spain, I'm in Barcelona at the minute, man. Barcelona. Going to be a pullback on gold. We can have a look at pullbacks on gold. But again, it's not really something you have to worry about where could price pull back into. You wait for price to pull back and then you see reversal signs and then you continue buying. But if we were to look at it from a higher time frame perspective, where would make the most sense? You kind of had this big breakout here on gold. You had this big resistance in Asia, big resistance here all last week as well, big support. So you could potentially pull back into 4,070, potentially 4,050 before seeing that push. I don't think you'll get as low as 450, but again, it doesn't really matter about where I think we can pull back to. If we pull back into this level, start grabbing some lows and, maybe throw some lower time frame reversal signs, then, you can take it from here. If we don't and we just smash through this level, then we can potentially look for some, reversal signs from here, for example. I never really worried too much about, I used to. I never really now worry too much about where price can pull back into, because you get too focused on, you think price could maybe pull back to here, but price ends up pulling back to here and goes higher, and then you go, oh damn, I missed that trade because I thought we were going to pull back to here. So it doesn't really matter too much about where you think price can pull back into. You want to look for these big levels, which to me, this would be the first one. Once price does get into these levels, some potential morning star plays, 30-minute fake outs, and that could be enough to try and give it an opportunity from here. Like I say, if we just break this level and we do it from here, then that's also fine. So try not to worry too much about where price could pull back to. Let price pull back, show you potential reversal signs, and then take the trade. Same as here's a pretty good example. For instance, when price is all the way up here, and I say to you guys, I think price can pull back. You could say, oh yeah, I agree. I think price is going to pull all the way back down into these lows. That's fine. However, once you start grabbing some lows here, you grab some lows, you hold the support, cool. That's when you then get long, or you get the longs from here. So it doesn't really matter too much about where you think price can pull back into. Let price pull back, show you its cards, and then you can take your trade. But yeah, I would say at least this breakout level around 40.60 looks pretty nice. Let me just have a look at NQ. We got London Open about 2 minutes here, guys. Let's have a look. I believe NQ is probably going to continue squeezing a little bit higher, if not in a bit of an aggressive range. Any recommendations on agencies in Australia? No, again, I didn't apply through Australia, man. I'm not Australian. I also wouldn't recommend agencies anyway. It's not my expertise. But you can Google some and see some online. But all agencies will be overseas anyway. They won't be based in Australia, so it doesn't really matter too much about where you're from. They work with people from all over the world, but they're not in your specific country. They'll be here in Spain. Evening Star in the hourly. I mean, not really. I mean, you're grabbing highs, but you know, are you looking for an hourly Evening Star is a reversal play? Are you looking for a reversal on gold after you pushed up 850 ticks? I mean, maybe, but you probably shouldn't be. Just because you're grabbing highs and closing a bit doji doesn't mean it's enough to want to sell gold. And that's what an Evening Star play is. An Evening Star is, you know, tagging highs to potentially look for a short. You know, you look for a Morning Star to go long, but you wouldn't be looking for a short up here. So, personally, I would look at this as an Evening Star because this is one of them. This is a tilt trigger opportunity right now. If you try and short this, looking for this big jackpot play down, and price just continues pushing higher, or it just continues to range and then it squeezes you out, you're going to look back at that trade and you're going to go, why was I trying to sell that? Gold's been beautifully bullish here. Almost over 1,000 tick push higher. So personally, I wouldn't see this as an Evening Star play. London opening, guys. Let's have a look. NQ had to be closed here on the hourly. Bullish, bearish, bullish. Doji, NQ in a little bit of a tough range. Of course, you know we got Goldie squeezing much higher. Very bullish on all time frames here. Yeah, you could create a bit of an aggressive range here. London opens at 3 a.m. EST. I'm not too sure what time it opens that time, but we're open. We're open. Goldie is open. Started this morning, 2,200 up. Wise trader once told me, consistency over profits. Nice. This is the start of my 4th week. Consistent wins with 1 day loss that wiped out everything. It's the risk prep I need. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Consistency doesn't always mean, you know, you just take winners every single day. Consistency means you have good winners and you also have good losses. You know, don't try and fight losses. Losses are part of the game. Consistency is, yeah, you got, you know, good wins, you got some losses in there. A lot of people try and chase consistency as I should be green every day and I should just have green weeks. Like, no, you should have green days. You should also have red days. Sometimes people share with me their Topstep stats, and for like 2 weeks straight, it's all green days, no red days. And although that might look great, it's also pretty scary because it means you also can't accept a loss. And if you try and trade from that perspective, one loss can absolutely wipe out everything. Because you try and trade from the perspective of, well, I've had all these green days, I can't have a red day now. But it's like, that's not how trading works. Red days is absolutely part of the business. How do you know when a pullback's finished? Well, when you start getting these reversal signs. Like I say, that's what you look for. You look for the morning star plays, you look for liquidity grabs, you look for price to break out, and then you take a trade. Morning stars, fake out plays are some of my best reversal signs that pullback could be enough. For instance, here, you grab lows, you close bullish, cool. That's where you start looking for long opportunities. Or you break, but let's say you break, for instance, here in Asia, you know, you break this support here. Okay, you break back above, you hold it. There's your opportunity. The markets are showing you. Cool. We've tagged lows. We've closed back above. There's my longs. Do you rent? No, I don't rent. Man, we're just in Airbnbs. We're only in Barcelona for a couple of weeks, so just Airbnb at a time, man. How much Airbnbs? It depends on. You could do it very affordable, or you could do it very lavishly. You could do it from however you want to do it, to be honest. So we got NQ in this range here, guys. Like I say, I like NQ to pull back, but we do have NQ trapped a bit right now. Yes, exactly. Don't focus on the P&L. Focus on the charts. Focus on the charts. Absolutely. Heard San Sebastian is an epic spot. You can live the surf and lifestyle. Cool, really nice. I haven't. I think I've heard of it. I've never been. Whereabouts is it? Cool. Nice. Northern Spain, yeah, cool, man. Cool. Clays, what's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, nice. Definitely have to have a look, man. Good culture up there. Cool, cool, cool. Living the trader life. Yes. Fix my laptop. I guess as long as it doesn't look grey. It looks a little bit grey to me here on my side, but I think it's more so my actual screen. It's totally fine for me. But I think it's fine for you guys. I think it's just something on my side's made it go all funny, but when I bring it to another monitor, it's completely fine. So yeah, it's still a bit weird. Look at losses in trading as a business expense. Yes, absolutely, man. Every business has losses. Losses are part of the game. Don't try and fight the losses. Also, don't try and fight the markets. You have to learn to accept losses because you're never going to have a 100% win rate. So don't try and chase one. You could be profitable with a 30 to 40 to 50% win rate if you really wanted to. I know people who trade very profitably with the 30% win rate. I personally like to go a little bit higher for my psychology, but yeah, absolutely could be. Unfortunately not, Tim. It won't be recorded, man, unfortunately. It will just be a live. One time only. Aaron, how many contracts should I use when trading my XFA? What size XFA, man? Have a 2K buffer. I want to scale it to 10K. Don't even focus on that. That's never a good sign. In the nicest way possible, don't try and set yourself a dollar amount to build a buffer. Just trade. Again, if you try and set a certain dollar amount to meet this buffer, you're going to end up trying to chase trades. You're going to hold on to trades for too long. You're going to trade your P&L. You know, don't, and again, this is exactly why I said don't short gold here, guys. So exactly why I said don't short. I'm also not going to buy it because it could easily just wick back below in range. But yeah, don't focus on trying to build a 10K buffer or a 20K buffer. Just trade. Just focus on taking good trades. Yeah, good man, Devin. Good man. Me too, man. Me too. So I can't, I don't know. Well, I also don't know how big your losses are. Like, how big is your losses? What's your win rate? What's your risk to reward? Someone shouldn't tell you how many contracts you should be using. How many contracts you should be using depends on how well you can build out that buffer. If you have a 2K buffer and I tell you to risk 1 mini, but your losses on average are like 1,000, well, that's only going to give you 2 trades. So it doesn't really make sense. Probably do one sometime in the future, Clays. At some point. Now, if you're registered, Sean, there'll be a link before it goes live, and you can tune in, man. But yeah, don't when you're trading XFA, same as when you're trading combines, don't try and chase. Look at this on gold, guys. This is exactly why I said don't short. Although I'm not buying it because there's no stop loss for me here to buy it, I certainly won't be selling it. Do not short gold, guys. I know a lot of people will be trying to short gold. Do not short gold. Like I said, guys, gold is not the markets to try and fight. Gold can just go higher and higher and higher and squeeze you out until then it eventually pulls back. Do not, although I'm not buying it, I'm absolutely not selling it. Do not try and short gold, guys. Gold is not the market to fight. Yes, nice, man. Nice. Good man, Sean. Good man. Bitcoin, yeah, definitely we have a look. We had a huge bounce off 100K, which was very, very, very nice. Any guys who bought up some long-term plays, what's that? Almost a 7% return off 100K already, which is very, very, very nice. Last week, you closed holding 100K, wicked out some lows, instant top wick here this week, so you may get a bit of a pullback. You had a little bit of a gap up here, so you may come down and fill in that gap, which you see quite a lot on Bitcoin. You have these gaps, you come down and fill them in. Coming into some nice resistance levels to the left. So I would say, look at where we're coming into here on Bitcoin. Big resistance here. You might squeeze up a little bit more, and you may pull back a little bit. Same as S. It's kind of similar to gold and similar to NQ. You've already had this big push up here in Asia. Now I wouldn't want to be chasing it this high, so I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback here on Bitcoin to come down and retest this big breakout level. Again, you're very likely range for a while, but I would be looking for this to come for a pullback. Let's have a look at NQ. Is it a bold move to look for shorts on NQ as it's in overbought right now on lots of higher time frames? Not really. Look at where we're at. We're at 25,500 is a big pullback level. I wouldn't be looking for a full-blown reversal, but I would be looking for a pullback. You don't really need an indicator to tell you that this has had a great move up and it's probably time for a bit of a pullback. This is how often the markets just run and just keep running. Well, you have this huge run and then you'll range, you'll correct to pull back, and then you continue pushing. So a pullback on NQ makes sense. How big of a pullback? That depends. Again, would I be looking for a huge short just because it says you're overbought right now? Personally not. It's just more so from a technical perspective. You've had this good push. You need to grab liquidity before you can go higher. So where could you potentially pull back into? Maybe just come down and retest some previous breakout levels before going higher. So yeah, you may have NQ pulling back a little bit before you see that push. But would I just sell it here for no reason? Or personally, I wouldn't want to get chopped up in this range. Look how ugly this range can be. Very, 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 very messy. You came up, tagged the highs, broke out, pulled back. So the sells do look nice. But just remember, you did close holding massive support last week. So you are kind of fighting that a little bit. So you just kind of do have to accept that risk. So if that means, maybe you trade smaller size, then I think that's pretty logical. Gold squeezing out any early sellers here again, guys. Like I said, gold's not the market to fight. Gold could squeeze you out all day long. So gold still squeezed higher. NQ kind of stuck in this range. I do like pullbacks, but it's hard for me to want to trade in here. Look how messy this is. How big is this range? 34 points. Just got funded using 50k combine. Amazing, man, amazing. How did you scale your account at first? I didn't scale my account. I just traded. Like I said, I don't focus on scaling accounts. I just focus on trading. Don't try and focus on scaling. Just focus on taking good trades. If you're consistent, you're going to make money. If you're not consistent, you're not going to make money. And the more you try and focus on scaling and trying to hit a certain dollar amount to receive a payout, the longer you are going to delay the process and the longer it's going to take you to get the payout. So get the payout the right way. So trade small size, $200, $100 risk, trade it up slowly, consistently, get them base hits like Dakota says, and you'll be surprised at how well you can do it. But don't chase it. Yeah, shorts to fill the gap. Let's see. Does ES look nicer? Let's have a look. Let's fill the gap. It's pretty far away. I mean, overall it doesn't. I think NQ could be nicer. I do like the way NQ's getting some volume here. You're waking up a little bit now. Get a bit of a breakout here in NQ. In 1 minute, you might pull back and get short. Is gold waking up? A little bit. Gold waking out some major highs. So there's that squeeze. Anyone buying NQ here probably stops sitting down below. So quick little pullback. You may squeeze this lower. Yeah, it's probably not a short you'd want to hold, man. If you shorted like this push down, yeah, I would be closing that for sure. Could have easily wicked the highs one more time. It's a very This could also easily just pull back up higher as well. Yeah, it'd be kicking yourself if it hit stops, exactly, man. Which is the smart way to look at it. Very, very smart way to look at it. It's a shame Goldie had this big of a push. There's such a nice push here in gold. There's been a great buying at that 4,000 level would have been a great swing trade in hindsight. I just thought we'd probably get it here today. How did you close last week on gold? Yeah, look at that last week on gold. Holding 4,000. Come up and tag some highs before potentially going lower. Would have been a very, very, very nice swing trade. Very nice swing trade. Did Dakota get the longs in slow markets? I bet he did. Slow markets having all the fun. Slow markets having the fun. Did anyone tune into slow markets? Did Dakota get the longs today? The longs on Goldie. Eventually, he did get it. Nice. How do you toggle between charts so fast? Good question, man. So, I have my chart set to this split screen. So if I just click tab, I can just go between these two screens. So all I'm doing is I have NQ here and I have gold here. If you can't change the two, then just make sure you have turned off the link. But if I click Alt and press in, then if I click tab, I can flick between the two charts. So you can have gold here, and then you might want to have MGC here to execute. So maybe you do your analysis, then you quickly flick through to MGC and take a trade. So you may get a bit of a short here on NQ, guys. Could maybe come down, tag these lows, retest this big breakout level from some major previous highs here. But remember, you could also just continue to range. If I was looking for a risky play, I'm not going to take it, but I'd be shorting it now. Maybe you short it now, you'd be short it here. You're risking off here. But I'm not looking for that aggressive on a trade here on a Monday morning. Took a few stabs at it after the initial push, but kept pulling back. Then looks like he got a monster in his personal. Nice, nice. Probably 10 contracts on the personal. To be fair, if you jumped on when it was around here, it would have been pretty tough. Here it would have been pretty tough. Here's where you really would have wanted to be getting in this gold move. Again, once it's already pushed this much, I still wouldn't even be. I wouldn't be taking this leg. I'd be trying to take this leg. That depends on where you jumped on. If you jumped on it was already up here, yeah, it would have been very, very tough. Nice. You got this leg? Nice. Was wicking him out. Yeah, small pullback. Held that 4,050 level. Broke back above. Yeah, it would have been tough watching that on the lower time frame. Because here looked like a nice morning star player here. Look, nice morning star. Then you tag the highs bearish. Tag the lows bullish. Bullish, bearish, bullish. Pull back. It was, yeah, it was pretty tough to trade in this area. So if you got caught in that area, yeah, that's a pretty tough place to get stuck. Would have been great from buying down here in hindsight. You know, you would have been, that's at like 11. That's like right at the market open, so you wouldn't have even been trading down here. To get this leg up, yeah, it's pretty impressive because this would have been, I wouldn't have been trading this high personally. Yeah, it would have been, unless you were trading like an hourly, for example. Now you're taking the hourly. Look at this, hourly closed above, pulled back to 4,050, never re-grabbed the high. So, yeah, buying that 2 a.m. candle on the hourly would have been nice. I think all the lower time frame was very messy. But even there, you would have got nice 145 ticks. Certainly wouldn't be holding it this high, though. But yeah, next target today on gold. If we get it today or we get it tomorrow, 4,100 looks like a great level once we pull back. You're also holding a pretty nice double top here now as well. People selling here, risking off 4,100. So pullbacks and squeezing them out looks very nice. Very, very nice. I'm not taking a short here at NQ, guys. You know, although I do believe you'll squeeze lower. I just don't really want to. I don't like this. I don't like this range here at NQ. I'd be more annoyed if I traded in this range and got squeezed out than happy I would if I took a short. Because if I took this short, is it a great setup? It's no right setup. So it doesn't really make too much sense here. I would rather sit on my hands and watch it play out than trade in here and just get stuck in this price action. Like I say, this is the price action where you try and trade in here. You know, you get stuck in this range from 4 o'clock London time until 8 o'clock London time. It's very, very, very mentally draining. And it doesn't need to be mentally draining. So just wait for a high volume opportunity. So therefore, wait for a candle on a higher time frame to actually break out. Gold stopping out any early sellers here again. That's why I said, guys, don't sell gold. If you start breaking back below, is there potential to short gold? Yeah, it's potential to short. It's pretty aggressive though. You have a bit of a trend line coming up. More people probably trying to buy this. I probably think you'll probably see the squeeze lower. But like I said, I'm not gonna try and call tops here. Not on a Monday morning. A Monday morning against almost 1,000 tick push high here on gold. You got that 30-minute close coming up in 10 minutes here as well. You're wicking out the highs. So you had that extra liquidity gap. If you hold below, there's the potential for gold to pull back. NQ coming down for the lows here. Let's have a look at the euro. The euro end up. Let me go back to. Yeah, Euro's having that squeeze. Longs would be in play here. YouTube comments kept asking Dakota why he was buying the top. Now look at it. Nice. That's what we like to hear. I mean, once you close above 4,050 to 4,100 is an easy range to fill because there's nothing to the left to stop it. I mean, I could guess I could see what they're saying, like buying the tops. But at the same time, you know, there's a difference between buying the tops and just following what the markets are doing. At least he was buying here as opposed to most people would be selling here. Most people would be selling here getting squeezed out. So, it's pretty funny. Don't know. Yeah, nice. Smart move, Patrick. It's had a great push. You're not going to get any moves in here, man. So that's a smart idea. Learnt my lesson. Never short on gold until it forms a range. Lost 12,000 on personal account, which I made long gold. Yeah, gold is not the market to try and fight. That's why I say to you guys, you know, although I'm not taking a trade here, I'm not the one who's trying to call tops here and trying to short it. I'm also not buying after like I say, an 800 plus tick move up. It's like gold could pull back. It also could range. It also could range and continue squeezing highs and get very, very choppy and mentally draining. So it's very smart here to stay patient. I've been trading gold for a long time. I've seen this happen time and time and time again. After this big of a move, you're going to range. I would usually be trying to chase this, or I'd be trying to call tops, and I'd get squeezed out, and I'd look back and I go, what on earth was I trying to do? So it's a good indication for me right now to be patient. But yeah, gold is absolutely not the market to try and fight. So for people who are saying to go, we're trying to call the tops here, I can see that, but I can also see a lot more people would have been trying to short this. You know, a lot of people try and take these shorts because they missed this move up. Well, if you missed a move up, it's not your job to try and all of a sudden trade against it, thinking the markets care about the fact that you missed it, you know? So it's as unfortunate as it is, but you just have to accept it and wait. Aaron, do you ever look at the tick charts? I don't look at the tick charts, man. I find it interesting, but I've never looked at it. I do know a lot of people who trade it, but it's not something I've looked at. On the 5K tick chart, there are some ghost ticks on GC over the weekend, around 4,100. It's not something I use, man, so I can't really say too much, to be honest. Where is it? Yeah, it's not something I've ever. It's not something I've ever used, man. So I couldn't really. I couldn't really say, to be honest, but maybe. No bottom wick on the candle on GC doesn't mean it will go down. Is there no bottom wick? I have a bottom wick here. It's not much of a bottom wick, but let me have a look at the currency chart. Do I believe it's going to go down there? No, gold. Look, it doesn't matter about that bottom wick. It's ripped higher. On the currency chart, do we have a daily wick? Yes, you do. You have a wick on the daily as well. Gold's almost back at 4100 on the currency chart, which is huge. But no, this is after you see this big of a move here on gold, don't even worry about what's down here. You know, that's ages away. Don't even think. Don't even let that cross your mind. Don't try and convince yourself to reasons as to why you think price could come all the way back down to here. That's ages away. Don't even worry about that. You know, maybe when you're trading up here, you might think, oh, cool, you might come down for a bottom wick. But when you've ripped this much, you know, like look how many you've broken this resistance. You've broken this resistance. Again, look how many levels you're just breaking, and you've broken this resistance. So don't even think about what's down here. Like that's not even a concern of ours right now. You know, don't try and cast your view of what's actually happening right in front of you because you think something could happen down here. That's whatever's down here is long and gone. Long and gone. So do I think price could come all the way down for that daily bottom wick? I don't even think like that. If you ask me generally, do I think so? No, I don't think we're coming anywhere near that. There's no reason to. We've been looking for longs on gold for all of last week. I think you're going to see gold at 4100. And the fact that you've already ripped this much, you would need a massive catalyst to all of a sudden retrace this whole entire move. So, no, personally, I wouldn't even let that be a question. Euro longs are running nice here. If you guys trade the euro, you broke below, you broke right back above. Could be running euro longs here. I don't trade it, but for you guys who do trade, that was nice. A nice buy. Let's see. Again, this is the reason I said I'm not going to sell NQ for this exact reason here. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to buy it because this is right back in the middle of the range. So, decided to stay patient here on NQ. Again, it's paying. Decided to stay patient on gold. Again, it's paying. So, protecting the capital at all costs this morning here. After you've had very big moves, you have to trade from that logical perspective, not from the emotional perspective. Although I would love to see gold have a pullback and give me an opportunity. I'd love to see NQ pullback. What I would love to see, and what I would say to you guys, what the markets are going to do, unfortunately, are two very different things. If the markets cared anything about what we thought they were going to do, we would all be very rich by now. Unfortunately, the markets don't care about what we think. Yeah, nice one, Damon. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Nice, Harry. Video of you reacting to that woman who said put your last £100 into a broker. Happy time. Yeah, I haven't seen a video like that in a long time. That's like stuff you used to see about trading. Like, yeah, like when I first started trading, that's the type of crap you would see. That's how I got into trading, through bad things like that. How long did it take to become profitable? Over 2 years. Over 2 years of consistent losing. So gold still squeezing high here, guys. A little bit of a range. He got 30-minute close coming in 2 minutes here. NQ still squeezing. You know, remember, did ES grab the lows? Let's have a look. Yes, you did. Look, ES grabbed the lows. NQ doesn't need to. You're pushing higher. So ES grabbed the lows. NQ doesn't need to. So now you could see NQ continue pushing. That's why it's very important to watch these levels on ES and NQ. So the lows of 10 past 4 here in the 5-minute, lows of 10 past 4, right there. Even should call it there. Lows of the range. Lows of the range. ES grabs the lows. That's enough for you to start buying NQ. Nice squeeze there. Could have got a decent stop on that trade as well. Oh, it's amazing, man. This is what we like to hear. TopstepTV and its traders have taught me to be patient and have better psychology. Amazing, man. I've been here for about 2 weeks and I've improved a lot. in relation to taking losses and managing trades. That's fantastic, man. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. People get impatient here and expect me to start trading just because we're live. It's like, I'm going to do what consistently works. And what consistently works is to not trade this high. Yeah, you guys have to remember, you don't need to be taking multiple trades every single day. If you're taking multiple trades every single day, you're very likely, for the majority of people, consistently losing money because you think more trades equals more profits, when that's not actually the case. More trades equals overtrading, equals you have the expectation that you think the markets are going to give you an opportunity every day in every session. You guys could take 2 to 3 to 4 good trades a week and get great payouts. You could take a great trade once a week if you really wanted to and get great payouts. But you need quality over quantity. And right now on gold, it is very unlikely that you're going to get a quality setup this high. Same as NQ. It's unlikely you're going to get a quality setup in this range. So, you know, I want to be trading here as much as you guys want me to be trading here. But if we're ranging, we're ranging. You have to see the markets from that neutral perspective. How do you assess when a directional move is over? How short a time frame do you look? With this big of a move on gold, what time frame would I look to see this move's over? Is an hourly. The hourly is breaking back higher. You know, it's up 860 ticks, so I wouldn't be looking any lower than this. If you look any lower than this, you know, I'm sure I could show you a 5-minute breakout on, you know, here. You go, oh, 5 minutes broken out, maybe this is the big short, just keeps going higher. Or the 5 minutes pulling back, maybe it's time to go short, just keeps going higher. So if the higher time frame is bullish, well, then that's the time frame that you want to turn around. Otherwise, you just have to let it continue pushing. So when you're looking for price to show a potential loss of momentum, well, you want to see that on the same time frame that's having the breakout, not the lower time frame. The lower time frame is exactly what will get you chopped up before the higher time frame just keeps doing what you want, and that's where most people go wrong. Most people look at the hourly breaking out. For instance, here, you see this hourly time frame breaking out. You know, you go to your 5 minute and you all of a sudden start convincing yourself that this is the tops and we're going to get short, and you just continue pushing higher. Whereas you should be doing the opposite. When you drop, if your hourly is breaking out, you should be dropping down to your lower time frame and looking for buy opportunities. Whereas most people see this hourly time frame breaking out and then they all of a sudden go down to the 5 minute and start looking for shorts. Whereas, like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. So if my hourly's breaking out, you know, on this time frame, I should be looking for long opportunities. Like, I don't see this push down and go, oh, you know, this is going to be the top. Maybe it's time for me to go short. Well, why would you? The hourly's still bullish. So you want to be looking, you know, again, same as the 4 hour, you know, look how bullish this 4 hour is. So bullish. So does it make any sense to start looking for a lower time frame short? Not at all. Andrew, good morning, man. Good morning. All good, man. All good. So yeah, if I was going to look for like a, you know, at what point would I say, okay, maybe it's time for price to pull back here on gold? Just wait for like an hourly bearish closure. Just wait for the hourly to close bearish, and then if you really want to, then you can maybe drop down to low time frame and look for a pullback short. But if this hourly's closing bullish, like I say, gold's not the market to gold's not the market to fight. It's also not the market to start dropping down to the lower time frame to look for reversal signs. Because you drop down to lower time frame on gold and the higher time frame is breaking out, you can just keep going higher and higher and higher. What do you advise to not blow accounts in terms of daily trades and sizing for small accounts? 2-3 trades and low risk. I mean, there's not really a trade amount. You know, it doesn't matter if you're trading a large account or a small account. Your trading should be consistent regardless. You know, a lot of people think trading a small account means I need to take more trades and over risk. But it's like, if you're not making money on a small account, having a big account it also isn't going to help. It's literally just the same way we trade, just consistency, good risk management, good quality setups, 1 to 2 trades a day, if that, more than enough. There's no, you don't approach a small account differently. The only people who approach a small account differently is because they're trying to flip the account or over leverage on the account, and they convince themselves that when I do flip this account, then I'm going to start trading properly. It's unlikely. You build a lot of bad habits that are very also hard to break. I love Monday to Fridays, so I can trade alongside you and TopstepTV. That's amazing, man. Every single day I learn something or get reminded something important from Hogue, you and others. That's amazing, man. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Although we're not jumping in trades here, I'm also saving my P&L. I'm also saving my mental P&L. Because whether it comes today or whether it comes tomorrow, that next trade's always right around the corner. And if you take a bad trade today, when the nicer opportunity comes up tomorrow, you will kick yourself for not staying patient today. And you'll just be chasing to get back to break even. And you're trying to chase that stupid trade that you know you shouldn't have been in today. Or you can sit on your hands and go, okay, cool. You know, the next session in a couple of hours is going to be a new opportunity, or the next day is going to be a new opportunity. So you'll thank yourself for not jumping in that trade here. So YouTube guys, you've been on about here for an hour. Like I say, I do believe, oh, nice NQ pop there. I do believe you're still going to see gold fulfill 4,100. But if I'm going to get any trades on gold today, you know, Asia's had this great move up. Regardless of if I caught it or not, it's a great move. And the reality is you're either going to range or price could potentially pull back, or you could just keep squeezing. So it's pretty 50-50 up here for me on gold right now. And therefore, that's a pretty good indication that I should probably stay patient. So it's only Monday morning, guys. We have a week. I may not get any trades here today. You know, who knows? We'll see. I will be back on fast markets tomorrow as well. Trading New York to you guys. And we'll be back here for the London stream tomorrow as well. But for today, right now, I'm going to accept the markets have had a great move. And go outside here in Barcelona, go get some coffee, get some fresh air, and remind myself that we have next session coming up in a couple of hours. And I will also, like I said to you guys, thank myself for staying patient. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys taking time to tune in. It's only Monday morning. We have all week. Stay patient. Trade the right way, guys. Don't force trades here. Definitely don't try and short gold. Gold's still going high. And I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. So trade safe, guys. Do the smart, right thing you know you should be doing. And trade to live another day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.